What is up, entrepreneurs? My name is James, man, and welcome to another episode on my channel, Just Business, where I teach you and Maverick here, no, not Maverick, how to start, grow, and scale a business from nothing all the way to six figures. So in this case, you guys decided to go the old-fashioned route. None of that e-commerce shit here. No, you are opening up your own brick-and-mortar location, whether it be retail, coffee shop, or restaurant. A lot goes into optimizing a floor plan for your space. Everything all the way through inspections, figuring out the build out, working with contractors, maximizing the use of square footage, because more often than not, there's a lot of extra space that you guys don't even need. So you can reduce your overhead before you even get started. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I did when opening up Stump House Axe Throwing and Trailhead Tavern, and how I built those floor plans to maximize use of square footage and get the most out of our space. Let's get into it. All right, entrepreneurs. So right now you guys are looking at the original floor plan for Stump House Axe Throwing. Here it shows really what I did when coming up with the business model, the business plan, and then implementing that plan from paper to our actual brick and mortar location in Clemson, South Carolina. But before I dive into the specifics of the floor plan, I really just want to go into my thought process and what I've learned over the years as far as picking out and finding good locations. So once you guys have a location in mind and you are going back and forth with the landlord, you want to make sure that you appear as credible as possible, because it's not just you looking at the space. There are a lot of others going through the space. And even if you think it's the perfect fit for your business, the landlord might not view you as the best tenant, or really the best tenant for him or her. So you guys really have to do things to make yourself stand out. Now, what I did and what I recommend doing is come up with a full business concept in their space whenever you pitch it to them. So whenever you approach the landlord, it's just, hey, I'm not James Mann, entrepreneur who's looking at your space. I'm James Mann, owner of Stump House Axe Throwing, and this is what I'm going to do in your space, and this is the business that I'm putting in. And when I approached it like that, I was received much better by the landlords and was able to beat out competition. Now, I already had a website built. I already had a whole bunch of stuff made for the business, as well as logos and merchandise, which don't cost a lot, but it helps increase legitimacy. Because if I show up and I say I'm owner of Stump House Axe Throwing and I'm repping a certified expert jacket or t-shirt with our logo on the back, it goes a lot further for negotiating better prices for your lease. Now, whatever they tell you on paper, that's just their first offer. I always just offer half up front and say, hey, I want our business to be profitable. I want to make sure that we have long-term stability within your area. And then I offer half, because why the hell not? I don't want to pay the full amount. And that brings me to my next point, is when you're looking to optimize your floor plan, you want to find a space that is just big enough to fit your business concept. And what I mean by that is it allows you to operate your business effectively, and it does not waste square footage. Because what gets a lot of brick and mortar people in trouble, even franchise companies, I've seen a lot of them go out of business because they get a space that's too large. And the way commercial real estate works is you have a price per square footage. And even if you're not using all of it, you're paying for it. And it can get very expensive. For example, in downtown Clemson, South Carolina, a small 2,500 square foot place can run you anywhere between $4,000 and $9,000. And if you look at that as a small business owner, and me coming into this business, I sure as hell didn't want to spend $9,000 a month just on the space, not including all the additional overhead. So find something that's very, very small that you can, with help of a contractor, transform a space. For example, this space with Stump House Axe Throwing is only 1,300 square feet. But what we've done is we've optimized the space for the business model. So we wanted to be an axe throwing venue, and then we also wanted to have an entertainment space with beer, wine, and serve appetizers. Now, what we've done with our space is we created axe throwing lanes. So as soon as you walk in, all the lanes are in front of you, and there's space for people to eat and drink, as well as plenty of space to throw in between the lanes. And then we also have a dedicated bar area, and that's really all you need. Now, the space is tight, but what that also does is, have you ever been inside of a really tiny restaurant or a packed bar? And whenever a place is small, it increases the energy, people are louder, sound travels more, and oftentimes it really elevates the space, because when people come into Stump House and they got people throwing to their left and to their right, they're like, oh man, this is fun. I got other people doing the same activity that I'm doing. It's just like having people bowling right next to you. It um, elevates the energy. So that's what you want to do. Another piece, which is very important, and the landlord plays a crucial role, is you want to make sure that the plan that you want to put forth in the business is approved by the landlord. And what I mean by that is, you've got to make sure, in my case, I had to say, hey, I'm building 6 axe throwing lanes. I'm tearing down the walls. I'm building a bar. And are you okay with that? And by going through with that and getting that verbal agreement, you can help shape the lease in the direction that you want to go, which is very, very important. Now, another thing with the space is you want to be able to control customer flow. So in our case, as soon as a customer enters the door, we have somebody right at the door that directs them to our bar, where they previously booked online, and then they fill out the safety waiver at our bar, and then they are taken to a lane. So with whatever your floor plan or space is, make sure that you walk through it in your mind, what the customers are going to be doing, and go through a lot of different scenarios. Go through drunk customers, go through customers that are lost, go through customers that just want the bathroom, to make sure that your floor plan can accommodate a lot of different kind of customers with different needs. So going into the next point, once you guys have done all the research and gone through everything in your mind and built a floor plan that optimizes your business model and what you are looking for, you need to move quickly. And what I mean by that is, as soon as you secure the lease, you need to immediately move into the build out phase for your business. And what I've always done, which has been a huge advantage for me, is I've always had all of the admin for my business built. So I've built all the employee hiring documents. I've built all of our logos. I built our website, and I've done everything else for the company. So that way, when it comes to building the physical location, that is the only thing that I'm focusing on. And I'm looking to do that as fast as possible, because oftentimes you are going to have to pay rent during your build out phase. Now, what I've done with both of my properties is I have negotiated for 3 months rent free as I build out the space. And then after 3 months, they can charge me the full amount of rent. And that saves you anywhere between $4,000 and $15,000, depending on the size of your space. And I can get into a little bit more detail on the negotiations for that later. But really, everything that you can do to set yourself up to be in an advantage in a position to build out the space quickly is going to act in your favor, because the sooner you can open your doors, the sooner you can start managing that overhead. Because unlike product-based businesses or e-commerce-based businesses, you're brick and mortar, baby. And that means that you have monthly overhead expenses, whether you're open or not. And it took me a lot to figure that out. Yes, you can make a hell of a lot of money in the brick and mortar business, but also you're going to have overhead expenses. You're going to have stuff break. you're going to have to replace the AC. So make sure that that's in the contract, and that's the landlord's job, so you don't get stuck replacing the air conditioning, because the customers aren't going to come into your business if the AC is fucked up. Now, that's just an example, but that's a lot of stuff that you've got to consider when building a floor plan for your space, and also coming up with a design for your space. And you want to make sure that you have several months of operating costs set aside for your business, in addition to the amount that you've forecasted for the build out, so that way it can hold you through that period. Now, one of the mistakes I made with Stump House, unfortunately, we made a killing our opening several months, so we didn't have to worry about it. But it's very bold for you to assume that you're going to open your business and immediately be operating at a profit. So make sure to have money in reserve for the first year or two as you're getting off on your feet and you're working out all the kinks. Now, make sure you can do everything you can to get ahead. And I've got more details and videos later on synchronization matrices, how to stay organized during your build out phase. I mean, I even went as far as hiring employees while we were building and training employees while we were building, and getting them involved in the process so they could take ownership of that. But doing as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and having violence and swift action is going to set you guys up for success. So that is all on this video as far as building a floor plan that is going to maximize the use of space. I hope you guys took a lot of value of what I've done with this video and value from my channel. And if you have, like and subscribe. And if you want me directly involved in helping you build your brick and mortar business, check out my Patreon page. And I can't wait to work with you. See you next time.